doing a makeup tutorial on this look right here. We used a lot of warm shades because I wanted this to be good for right now, fall, autumn season. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this look, and let's go ahead and get started. I'm going in with a primer first so that the eyeshadows last longer and look more vibrant. This is from MAC and it's called the Painterly Paint Pot. So I'm just using my middle finger to lightly blend this in all over the entire lid area. Next, I'm going in with a Makeup Geek eyeshadow. Actually, all the eyeshadows I'm using today are from Makeup Geek. This one is the lightest that we'll be using in the crease, and it is actually called Beaches and Cream. So, whoop, I just dropped it. It's like a more matte, light brownish tan. And we're doing a lot of crease work today, so we're putting a lot of different colors in, and I just want this as like a main starter color. Then I'm going in with the same blending brush, and now I'm picking up a slightly darker shade. This one is called Creme Brulee. So again, just layering this right over top of the eyeshadow that we applied before, and just making sure that the crease is staying nice and blended, no harsh lines or anything like that, and we're just slowly darkening things up. Now I'm using a more yellowy mustard shade called Desert Sands from Makeup Geek. I'm applying this in the very outer corner of the eye, and it's okay if you get this a little bit on the lid because we'll be doing lid colors later, but this is just going in that outer corner and gonna help darken things up, also warm things up, give it a little bit more color. Going back in with that blending brush we used before and blending out those edges. By the way, if you guys want any more fall inspired looks, just let me know down in the comments, or if you have any ideas, because I am gonna be starting to film Halloween tutorials soon. Next, we are picking up the shade Roulette from Makeup Geek. So this eyeshadow does have a bit of shimmer in it, but it's a beautiful brick red in person. So we've already blended through the tan shades, the brown shades, the yellow shades. Now we're working in some red. So that way it's very fall inspired. There's a lot of different colors on the eye that are just gonna really warm it up nicely. So I'm using a pencil brush here to apply this to the outer corner. And then I'm going back in with that yellowy mustard shade called Desert Sands, with the same brush we used before, and very carefully blending out the edges of this. You don't want to completely blend it off, but you just want the colors to blend in together nicely. And one last time, going through with Beaches and Cream and my bigger fluffy brush to blend out the very top edges. So going to the lid now, we are using a smudger brush actually, but it's so small that it works really well on my tiny eyelid space. We're picking up the shade Vanilla Bean and working this starting from the middle of the lid and then going outward and inward. And then I'm using a shade that is very similar to Vanilla Bean, but it has some gold reflex, pink and gold reflex in it. It's called I'm Peachless. It's one of their new ones. And I'm going right over top of the Vanilla Bean with that, blending through a little bit more Roulette into that outer corner, and then using the big fluffy brush to blend everything out once again. I feel like I said blend like 50 times in this video. Alright, for eyeliner, this is Physicians Formula. It is a pencil liner. I'm kind of doing this really cool technique that I've been liking a lot lately, so I can do this with one hand. So I'm using my pinky finger, or really any finger, to hold my eye taut very gently, kind of pulling it out slightly, and then lining my eye. And what this is going to do is help to make a more straighter line. So for lashes, I'm using number 15 by Creme. I'm applying them right in the middle of the eye first, then working with the outer corners, and then the inner corners. I love these lashes. They're more on the smaller side, but the base of them is so dark that it really defines the eyes nicely. For moisturizer, I'm using one from e.l.f. This is the Daily Hydrating Moisturizer. Definitely one of my favorites when it comes to moisturizers because it's very light and it's great to use like right before foundation. So it gives a little bit of hydration, but it doesn't make the face feel greasy. So because I have dry skin, I definitely need a little bit more moisture going on. So I'm using a oil. It's from Paula's Choice. I'll put the link down below if you guys are interested. But I only put this on the spots of my face that get really dry, and I find that it helps to prevent dry patches during the day. Too Faced Primed and Poreless. This is a great skin smoothing face primer. So what it's going to do is actually make your skin look flawless. It's just really going to perfect the finish of your foundation. Revlon PhotoReady Airbrush Effect. I have this in, whoa, what shade is this in? 005 Natural Beige. So I'm using a flat
top foundation brush to apply this all over my entire face. I used about 3 pumps. This looks a lot darker than what my actual face color is, and that is because I like to self-tan, so my body is usually a little darker than my face. So in order to match my face to the rest of my body, I like to use a little bit of a darker foundation. This is the MAC Prep and Prime. I'm using this to highlight and conceal my under eyes, down my nose, my forehead, a little bit on my chin, and on my jawline area here. And that's just really going to perfect that bronzer shape, make it more contoured looking. I'm using a beauty sponge to blend this out. Got this baby from TJ Maxx. I love it because it really does work well in blending out any liquid or cream product. Makes it look flawless and natural. This is a technique that I've been doing recently. I used to actually blend out my concealers with a brush, but this truly does make it sink right into the skin. I will be using a mixture of 2 things. These are both from MAC. One is called Emphasize and the other is called Soft Focus. One is more like yellowy and the other is like a white with shimmer in it. I find that it really works in keeping everything in place and also highlighting at the same time. Then I'm using my Anastasia contour kit. I'm using a really nice warm brown shade and applying this to the cheekbones. Give it a little bit of contour. Putting some on my forehead as well, and applied this on the tip of my nose, on the tip of the chin, and on my jawline. For blush, I'm using this one called Pampered. It looks so pink, but it really is more of like an orangey blush. And I wanted to use this specifically because I thought it would look great with the eyes, just coming off super pink on camera. I do not know why. But it's a great matte blush from Tarte. It's one of their Amazonian Clay 12-hour blushes. And I'm going in with Emphasize from MAC, the Pro Powders. Again, applying this under the eyes to give a little more highlight. Okay, then I'm using Miami Fever from Ofra, the Kathleen Lights lip stain. It's really nice orangey shade. It's so gorgeous. I love it. It's very easy to apply. It just looks like I'm taking forever because I wanted it to like be perfect on my lips. With the lip stain, it's kind of difficult. You have to, really apply it right the first time. But I was just trying to do a really good job as best as I could so I didn't have to go in with any concealer. I wanted to go back into the eyes and kind of define that lower lash line a little bit more. So I decided to go in with my eyeliner in Roach from Urban Decay. This is really cool. It's like a purpley shade, but it has gold reflex in it. So I applied that, and then I blended it out with a brush. And then I really like to apply just one more layer of it, mainly concentrating in the waterline, so it's slightly darker than everything that I blended out. I'm going in with mascara on the lower lash line as well. This is from Clinique. It's called the Bottom Lash Mascara. I'm learning to love this one. When you apply the first coat, it's very light, and I feel like it doesn't really do the job. But after that dries and you go in with a second coat, the lashes look awesome. Like super long, not clumpy at all. I love it. And I never have a problem with it smearing either, which is always good. I applied a little bit on the lashes just to kind of blend my natural lashes in with the false ones, and it gives a little more definition to the upper lashes. So, all right, that's it. I love me, gonna love myself, no